I was sitting in the courtroom when my sister Emily finally looked at me and her face crumpled. She whispered, "Please, Jess, please don't do this. I'm your sister." And I looked right back at her, this woman who'd cried on my doorstep begging for money to save her life, and said, "You were my sister until you spent my life savings on a boat for your boyfriend. Now you're just someone who owes me $30,000 plus interest." The judge asked if I wanted to proceed with the civil suit, and I said yes. "Your Honor, I want every penny back, and I want it on record." What she did, Emily started sobbing. Her lawyer tried to argue that family disputes shouldn't be in court, but my lawyer stood up and said, "Your Honor, this isn't a family dispute. This is fraud." The defendant lied about a medical emergency, forged documents, and spent the plaintiff's entire savings on luxury items. We have receipts, we have bank statements, we have text messages, and we have photos of the boat. The judge looked at Emily, then at me, and said, "We'll proceed." And in that moment, I knew I'd already won, because even if I never saw that money again, everyone in that room now knew exactly who my sister really was. My name is Jessica. I'm 29 years old, and 2 years ago, my older sister Emily called me at 3 in the morning crying so hard she could barely speak. "Jess," she gasped, "I need help. I'm in the hospital. They found something. I thought she'd been in an accident." I bolted upright in bed. "What happened? Are you okay?" She was hyperventilating, saying something about tumors, about emergency surgery, about how her insurance wouldn't cover it, about how she needed $30,000 or they couldn't operate. I didn't question. I just said, "I'll be there in 20 minutes. I'll figure out the money. I'll help you." She cried harder. Thank you. I love you so much. Jess, I don't know what I'd do without you." I got dressed, grabbed my laptop, and drove to the hospital she'd told me she was at, but when I got there, she wasn't in the system. I called her. She said she'd been transferred. She gave me another hospital address. I drove there. Nothing she said there was confusion with her records that she'd explain later, but please, could I just send the money? She needed surgery in 6 hours. I was terrified. I was shaking. I logged into my savings account, the one I'd been building for 10 years, putting away money from every paycheck, every bonus, every birthday, the account that had $32,000 in it, my emergency fund, my future. And I transferred $30,000 to her account because she was my sister, and she said she was dying. She called me an hour later, still crying, saying the surgery was scheduled, that she was so grateful that she'd pay me back as soon as she could. I said, "Don't worry about it. Just get better. Just survive." I didn't sleep that night. I sat in my apartment staring at my bank account, watching the balance drop to $2,000, feeling sick, but telling myself it was worth it if it saved her life. The next day, she texted me, "The surgery went well. I'm recovering. Thank you for saving my life." I asked when I could visit. She said, "Not yet. The doctors want to limit visitors. I'll let you know." I said, "Okay." I sent her flowers, sent her care packages, texted every day asking how she was feeling. She always responded, but her answers were vague. She was tired. She was healing. She'd see me soon. Weeks went by. I started to worry. I called our mom, who lived 2 states away, and said, "Have you talked to Emily? How's she doing after the surgery?" My mom paused. "What surgery?" I felt my stomach drop. "Her emergency surgery." I said the tumor she had removed. There was a long silence. On the other end, "Jess, what are you talking about?" "Emily's fine. I saw her last weekend. She was jet skiing with her boyfriend." I hung up and sat in the dark for a long time. Then I called Emily. It rang 5 times before she answered. "Hey, Jess, what's up?" Her voice sounded normal, healthy, not like someone recovering from major surgery. "Where are you?" I asked. "At home." Why? I heard music in the background, laughter. Man's voice. "Are you recovered from surgery?" She hesitated. "What do you mean, the surgery? I gave you $30,000 for." I said, my voice shaking. "Emily, what surgery?" She laughed nervously. "Oh, that, yeah, I'm fine. It went well. The doctor said I'm totally clear." I'm so lucky. I felt something cold settle in my chest. "You don't sound like someone who just had surgery. You sound like you're at a party." She went quiet, then said, "I have to go. I'll call you later." And she hung up. I stared at my phone, and I knew something was very, very wrong. I started digging. I called the hospitals she'd named. Neither had any record of her being a patient. I requested her insurance claims through our family plan. We shared nothing. No emergency room visits, no surgeries, nothing. I checked her social media, which I hadn't done in weeks, because I thought she was in bed, recovering, and there it was, photo after photo. Posted over the last month, Emily on a boat, laughing in a bikini, Emily at the lake with her boyfriend, Tyler, Emily holding a champagne bottle in front of a brand new boat with a caption, "Best birthday gift ever, thanks babe," Tyler had commented. "Anything for you, baby, you deserve it." I zoomed in on the boat. It was sleek, expensive, the kind that costs tens of thousands of dollars. I checked the date of the post. It was 3 days after I sent her the money. My hands were shaking so hard I almost dropped my phone. I scrolled further back. Emily and Tyler looking at boats at a dealership. Emily posting about wanting a boat for summer. Emily commenting on Tyler's post saying, "If only we had the money." I felt like I was going to be sick. She didn't have cancer. She didn't have surgery. She lied to me, stole my life savings, and bought her boyfriend a boat. I called her again. She didn't pick up. Texted her, "I know what you did. I saw the boat. Call me now." Hours passed, no response. I called our mom and told her everything. My mom was horrified. She called Emily and screamed at her. Emily finally called me back, crying, saying it wasn't what it looked like, that she had been planning to pay me back, that she panicked and made a bad decision. A bad decision. Repeated, "You told me you were dying. Emily, you made me think I was saving your life, and you spent my money on a boat," she sobbed. "I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, I'll pay you back, I swear." When I asked, she said she didn't know. Soon, maybe in a few months. I said I want it back. Now she said she didn't have it. I said then sell the boat. She went quiet. "We can't. The boat is in Tyler's name. I registered it as a gift. If we sell it, he gets the money." I couldn't speak. I was so angry. "Sell it." Anyway, I finally said, "Take the loss. I don't care." She said Tyler would never agree. "He doesn't even know the money came from you. He thinks I saved up for it." "You told him you saved $30,000. I said incredulously. She didn't answer. I hung up and I didn't call her again. Instead, I called a lawyer. The lawyer's name was Mr. Brennan, and when I told him what happened, he leaned back and said, "This is fraud, clear cut. You have proof." She lied about a medical emergency to obtain money under false pretenses. "You have grounds for a lawsuit." I hesitated. "She's my sister," he said. "I understand, but she stole from you. If you don't hold her accountable, she'll do it again. Maybe not to you, but to someone." I thought about that, about Emily's pattern of lying, of manipulating, of always finding someone to bail her out, and I said file the lawsuit. He drafted a demand letter first, requesting the full $30,000 within 30 days. Emily didn't respond, so we filed a civil suit for fraud and breach of oral contract. We attached everything, the text messages where she claimed she was dying, the hospital records showing she was never admitted, the social media posts showing the boat, the bank transfer proving I sent the money, her own admission in a voicemail that she'd lied. When Emily got served with the lawsuit, she called me hysterical. "You're suing me," she screamed. "How could you do this to your own sister? How could you steal from me?" I said calmly, "You had a choice to tell me the truth. You chose to lie. Now you face the consequences." She started crying, saying I was ruining her life, that everyone in the family would hate me, that I was choosing money over family. I said, "You chose a boat over family, Emily. I'm choosing accountability." She hung up. The case took months. Emily hired a cheap lawyer who tried to argue that the money was a gift, not a loan, but I had texts where she explicitly said, "I'll pay you back as soon as I can. That's not a gift. That's a loan." Her lawyer tried to claim I'd given the money willingly, which I had, but under fraudulent pretenses. My lawyer, Mr. Brennan, presented the fake hospital claims, the forged doctors' notes Emily had texted me showing appointment times that never happened. The jury of our case was a judge in civil court, and he was not sympathetic. Emily took the stand and cried. She said she'd been desperate, that she and Tyler wanted to start a life together, that she thought if she just asked for money I'd say no. So she lied. She admitted it right there in court, and the judge's face hardened. "You committed fraud, Miss Carter," he said. "You fabricated a life-threatening illness to manipulate your sister into giving you money that she'd saved for a decade, and you used it for a recreational vehicle." I sat there listening to her try to justify herself, saying she didn't think it was that bad, that families help each other, that she planned to pay it back. Eventually, the judge cut her off. "Planning to pay it back doesn't erase the lie," he said. Then he turned to me. Miss Carter Jessica, you're asking? For the full 30,000 plus. Interest and legal fees. Correct. Yes, Your Honor. I said. He looked back at Emily. I'm ruling in favor of the plaintiff. You will repay $30,000 plus 8% interest accrued over the time period plus the plaintiff's legal fees totaling $4,000. You have 90 days to produce a payment plan or will proceed with wage garnishment and asset seizure. Emily's face went white. Your Honor, I don't have that kind of money. Then you'll sell assets, he said, starting with the boat registered under Tyler Brennan's name. My lawyer stood up. Your Honor, the boat was purchased with the stolen funds, even though it's in another person's name. It's proceeds of fraud. The judge nodded. Agreed. Mr. Brennan, prepare the paperwork for asset recovery. Emily left the courtroom sobbing. Her lawyer looked exhausted. My mom, who'd come to support me, squeezed my hand. I'm proud of you, she whispered. Your sister needs to learn. I nodded, but I didn't feel victorious. I felt tired, sad, and angry that it had come to this, but I also felt something else, relief that I'd stood up for myself, that I hadn't let her get away with it too. Weeks later, I got a call from Mr. Brennan. The boat's been seized, he said. It's being sold at auction. Estimated value $28,000 after fees. You'll recoup most of your principal. The remainder plus interest will come from wage garnishment. Emily's employer has been notified. I thanked him and hung up. I thought about Emily, about how she must have felt watching that boat get towed away, about Tyler probably breaking up with her, about her wages being garnished for the next year, and I didn't feel sorry. She made her choices. Now she lived with them.